Why would God send the chariots of fire to protect you, but leave the trouble still surrounding you? Why would God give you a reprieve with your mortgage, but your mortgage is still overdue? Why would God give your child one more chance in the court system, but they're still caught up in the system? Why would God pass you over for the latest round of layoffs, but let you know that more layoffs are still on the way? Why would God give you a reprieve on your marriage, but you're still sleeping in the guest bedroom? Why would God hold trouble at bay for the time being, but you can clearly see that trouble is still surrounding you? Well, I think that the answer is also in this text. Picking up from verse 18, Elisha strikes the troublesome army blind and leads them to Samaria. He opens their eyes and allows them to see that now the tables on trouble have been turned. The troublemakers are now the ones who are in trouble. The king of Israel is so overjoyed about his newfound predicament that he gleefully asks Elijah, "Can we kill him? Can we kill him?" Do you see a problem in this text? Elisha strikes the troublesome army blind, leads them into Samaria. God turns the tables of trouble, so now the troublemakers are the ones in trouble. The king of Israel is so overjoyed that he says, "Can we kill him? Can we kill him?" Perhaps this is why our vision can't come to fruition. You see, God knows that you have recognized that you need God in your time of trouble. God recognizes that you have a solid relationship with God, but you still haven't been able to walk in your blessing. You might be like this king of Israel, not quite ready to receive your blessing. You see, this king did not know what to do with God's vision. If it had been up to him, he would have destroyed his enemies. But that wasn't God's plan. If it was up to you, you would vanquish the source of your trouble the minute that God turned the tables and put you in a position of authority. And you know what? I can't really blame you for having that line of thinking. You see, too many preachers are telling you that God wants you to make your enemies your footstool. And so it has become quite natural that when you get some victory, your first instinct is to stomp all over people. But God is telling us this morning that we need to stop spending our energy trying to turn people into our footstools and spend more energy trying to turn our foes into our friends. I come from a people who have felt the burden of being somebody's footstools for over 450 years. So why do I feel the need to make somebody else my own footstool? I have enough trouble as it is. Why do I want to add to my own burdens by giving someone else the legitimate right to have God turn the tables on me? You see, we want to use the vision of God to enact revenge when we ought to use the vision of God to engage in reconciliation. We want to use the vision of God to get payback when we ought to use the vision of God to make disciples. We want to use God's vision to boast on our own greatness when we ought to use it to proclaim God's glory. We want to seek to destroy when we ought to seek to disarm. We want to seek to eviscerate when we ought to seek to elevate. We seek to show might when we ought to seek to show mercy. We seek to punch people out when we ought to seek to pray people up. We want to stone people to death when we ought to speak new life into folks. We seek to inflict pain when we ought to inspire peace. We think that it's all about us when it's really all about God.